The lobby was all glass and marble, polished to a shine, but the stares she received were anything but welcoming. The black woman walked in her heels, striking the floor with quiet authority, but before she could even reach the elevator, a man in a cheap suit blocked her path. He glanced at her simple black dress and small leather bag, his lips curling in disdain. "Excuse me, ma'am, this area is for executives only. You'll need to wait outside." Her brow lifted slightly, but she didn't argue. Instead, she asked calmly, "And if I don't?" The man smirked, then gestured toward the door. "Security will escort you. Don't embarrass yourself." The receptionist tried to hide her chuckle. Other managers passed without so much as a glance. Everyone saw only what they wanted to see, a woman who didn't belong. She stood still for a long moment, then slowly pulled out her phone and pressed one button. Within seconds, the elevator doors slid open and a group of assistants hurried out, eyes wide. With panic, they bowed slightly. "Madam CEO, the board is waiting for you upstairs." The lobby froze. The managers who had laughed seconds earlier stared in horror as the truth settled over them. The woman they told to wait outside was not an applicant, not a guest. She was the new chief executive, the one who now held every one of their careers in her hands. Her gaze swept the room, calm but sharp. "I gave you 2 minutes to show me how you treat people you think are beneath you. You failed. Consider this your last day." Gasps filled the hall as the managers' faces drained of color. She turned without another glance, her heels striking louder than before. And as the elevator doors closed behind her, the building itself felt like it had shifted. Power had changed hands in the span of a breath. Upstairs, the boardroom buzzed with voices until the doors opened and she stepped inside. Silence fell instantly. Her presence filled the space without a single word. The same managers who had sneered at her downstairs stumbled in late, their faces pale, their confidence shattered. She set her bag down carefully at the head of the table, then looked up, her voice calm but cutting. "I was told to wait outside in my own building. 2 minutes was all it took to see who among you cannot tell the difference between a leader and a stereotype." The room stayed deathly quiet. The managers shifted uncomfortably, but she didn't give them the chance to speak. Her eyes swept across them one by one. "You judged me by my skin, by my dress, by assumptions that have no place in this century. If you treat me this way in a lobby, imagine how you treat the employees who can't fight back." One of the older men cleared his throat, trying to recover. "Madam CEO, perhaps this was just a misunderstanding." She leaned forward, her tone sharper. "No, it was clarity. The mask slipped and I saw the truth. And I do not build companies on rot." She slid a folder across the table, filled with termination letters. The managers' faces fell as she continued. "You are dismissed, effective immediately. Pack your offices. Security will escort you." This time, gasps rippled through the board, but she stood tall, her gaze unwavering. For years, this company was run on arrogance. That ends. Now today, it will be built on respect. Her words cracked like thunder, and the message was clear. This was no ordinary CEO. She was here to rebuild not just profits, but the very soul of the company. Word traveled faster than fire by the time she descended the glass elevator. The entire first floor buzzed with whispers. Employees peered over cubicles, craning their necks to catch a glimpse of her. The managers who once strutted with pride now walked stiffly beside security, their faces grey. With shock, boxes of their belongings clutched in their arms. The receptionist who had laughed earlier froze as the CEO stepped into the lobby again. This time, no one dared block her path. She paused, her eyes sweeping the room. Every worker who has ever been told they don't belong in their own workplace, hear me clearly, that ends today. Murmurs rose nervous at first, then stronger. The janitor dropped his mop in disbelief. The assistants exchanged stunned looks. Someone began to clap, hesitantly, and soon the sound grew louder until it filled the entire hall. The building, that had once echoed with fear, now rang with something different. Hope. The CEO's gaze landed on the receptionist for just a beat. The woman's cheeks burned red as she fumbled with papers pretending to work. The CEO didn't call her out directly. Instead, she spoke to everyone at once. I will never fire someone for making mistakes, but I will always fire those who choose arrogance over respect. Her words hung heavy in the air. Employees who once kept their heads down now stood taller. They realized this was not just leadership, it was change, and every person in that lobby knew they had witnessed the moment their company's future was rewritten. The next morning, the office felt like a different world. Gone were the whispers of fear, replaced with quiet determination. People greeted each other more kindly, even smiled at faces they had ignored before. And when she arrived in the lobby, heads didn't turn with suspicion, but with respect. She stopped in the center of the floor, her voice steady yet warm. Yesterday, I removed the weight that was holding this company down. Today, I ask you to help me lift it higher, not with fear, not with arrogance, but with the belief that every single one of you matters. Her words spread like fire through the crowd. Employees who had never dared to speak raised their voices in agreement, some with tears in their eyes, others with hopeful smiles. For the first time, they felt like they belonged. The CEO looked over them all, her chest tight with pride and resolve. This company will no longer be known only for its profits. It will be known for its people. That is the foundation I choose to build. And you, she, pointed gently toward the staff, are that foundation. The applause that followed shook the walls louder than any board meeting had ever managed. And as she turned to walk toward her office, her reflection in the glass panels showed not just a leader, but a woman who had rewritten power with dignity. If this story moved you, share it, so others never forget that one selfless act can rewrite a destiny in ways no one sees coming.